Guess who's back?
So that totally sounds like definitely like a early 90s movie. Um when they're doing like you just see the scene where he's like walking through the store and
Yeah.
then they cut scene and he's walking through the park and it's like, he's lost and he's trying to find himself and that's the music that's playing yeah, that's
90s
totally how I
montage.
felt. 90s, yeah. It's a self-proclamation montage is what that is.
But that's not us. Not on this
Yeah.
show.
Yeah. So
No.
I was going to say, did I mess up replacing any of the other branding? Because I left on the last episode I did of Single Malt Frontier, I left the 3 Guys 1 Grain branding on screen for about 15 minutes. I didn't forgot to change it.
Hey, free advertisement.
Free advertising.
I like it. I like it. All right, what are we talking about today, gentlemen?
All right, so today we've got a holiday gift giving guide where the rules are it's great whiskey and you can get it delivered to you or your recipient. And of course, it's American single malt whiskey because we are 3 Guys 1 Grain. We're the 3 guys. The grain is all around us, and it is the 1 grain malted barley.
I kind of
But
like
before
it when the grain isn't here yet. We're waiting on the grain.
Yeah, okay. We could track that back maybe for episode 4, which by the way, episode 4 we're going to try to do live. We need 50 subscribers on the YouTube before we can do that. That's going to be January 19th, which is designation day for American single malt whiskey. We are officially in American single malt whiskey Advent. This episode is going to come out a few days into it. And we are going to conclude American single malt whiskey Advent. That is between ratification day, December 18th, and designation day, January 19th. The time period we're celebrating, waiting for the rules to go into effect, which I think is so appropriate that it's at this time of year.
Yep.
Yes. It's like waiting for Christmas when you were a kid.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Frankly, I was more excited about designation day than I was about Christmas last year.
All right. Current count on the YouTube, 34, by the way.
Yeah, great. We're close. We're real close.
16 people.
Before we get into our gift giving guide, we said we wouldn't do guest interviews, but what we meant was we weren't going to have brand rep guests on that would compromise our unbiased opinions. So instead, we had a rep of a brand that works with lots of brands, Matt McGinnis of Big Thirst. This was a really fun interview, y'all.
This was an awesome interview.
Yeah.
What a good dude.
Yep.
Yeah. And we said, come back anytime.
Yeah, we were actually contemplating changing to 4 Guys 1 Grain. And
yeah. But enough of these 3 guys yapping. Let's head over to that interview. And then when we come back, we'll do our holiday gift giving guide. Cheers.
See you in a few.
So the gist here is that we're doing our sort of holiday episode of 3 Guys 1 Grain, which is a podcast. We're all Germ's got his channel, The Blind Sample Showdown. You probably heard of Randall's the Whiskey Shaman. I'm Single Malt Frontier. We're doing this combo podcast called 3 Guys 1 Grain, where we talk about American single malts from the consumer perspective. And what we want to do for this next episode is talk about a holiday gift giving guide, where not just good whiskey, but also whiskey you could order regardless of what state you're in. So Big Thirst is one of the brands we know is helping make that possible. So we wanted to get your take on how that works and American single malt and all that good stuff. So we sent you these just sort of a little bit of questions. We're not going to stick to the questions too much, but we're going to try to stay in that general vicinity.
Yeah.
So
I'll do my best to remember what they were.
Yeah, well,
I'm not going to remember what they were.
Yeah, no, we're not going to remember either. It was a brainstorm session that we.
I have them right here, guys. So just understand. Why am I the responsible one here?
Hey, I got them right over there, right on that.
We all each have our own strengths, and we all bring something very different to the table.
And Doug has none of them. There are no strengths here. It's
The
just my
gift of
recording
gab.
studio.
Hey, if you're good at anything, Doug, it is filling dead air.
Word. Many of
All
them.
right, tell us about Big Thirst generally.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, let's start. That is a great place to start. So
Okay.
what is Big Thirst? I guess summed up,
Yeah.
but maybe a little bit longer of a summary. I don't know.
Sure. Yeah. Well, hi, I'm Matt McGinnis. I'm the founder and CEO of Big Thirst. I started Big Thirst in 2014 as a marketing agency. So my background is in marketing, and I've been doing it for, gosh, since the 91. So for a long time. And my passion has been beverage alcohol for a really long time. Got married at a winery, worked at a winery in Oregon on the weekends, and really I've had a lot of interest in getting involved in the alcohol industry while working mostly in tech. And so I was looking for ways to jump from tech marketing into wine and spirits and beer. And a group of wineries in Texas approached me and said, "Hey, can you help us out with some marketing events?" And gave me the idea to quit the day job and start Big Thirst as a marketing agency. And over time, we grew and we added distillery consulting services. And then the pandemic hit. And in 2020, when that happened and all of our clients' route to market was closed, they couldn't sell in their tasting rooms, they couldn't sell in bars and restaurants. We took a look at, okay, well, what do we do? So, they can't sell direct to consumer from their website in most states. But there were marketplaces out there that allowed for, some of our clients to sell through those. And there were existing um, companies that were selling, allowing, helping, spirits brands to sell, like Speakeasy and Reserve Bar and those kinds. So we took a look at what was out there, and we weren't really happy with what was out. We thought we could build a better mousetrap. So we did. So we built an e-commerce platform and we launched that. And so now Big Thirst is an e-commerce platform that is powered with a full service marketing and consulting company. So we really just accelerate sales for spirits brands.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I like what you said about you named a couple specific brands or specific companies and said we took a look at what was out there and we didn't really like what was out there. So we tried to do something better, basically, is what the gist of what I got you were saying there.
Yeah, well,
I totally agree.
They do what they do really well. We just wanted some other things that they weren't doing. So,
And I totally agree because I've
yeah.
used a few of them and I personally have been very much happier with the stuff that I've gotten through Big Thirst, whether it be from the distillery's website itself and you fulfill shipment, or I ordered it right from your site.
I mentioned Reserve Bar, and they have a different business model. I think they do fantastic as a big store, but there's other things that I thought we could do differently. But like craft spirits are underserved with a big store model like that.
Yep.
And that left open an opportunity for us to help the smaller brands get discovered. And so that was one important thing that we knew we needed to do for, members of ADI and American Craft Spirits Association, the ACSA brands. And really, they get lost in those big stores and, they might not be able to afford some of the, bigger things that need to happen to show up there. And, we can really do more cost effectively, get the marketing done for them and build a website for them and get them up and running faster and more seamlessly.
That's excellent. And that kind of goes into exactly what we want to talk to you about, because a lot of American single malts are those smaller brands, are those
Right.
smaller distilleries. And inherently, it is a category of whiskey that's going to get lost in those big stores.
Exactly. Yeah,
Um,
I believe it or not, I still go to liquor stores, even though I'm able to order a lot of excellent stuff, from our clients and on Shop Big Thirst. I still go to stores because I love going to independents and chains. And so I just went this weekend to my neighborhood store and I wanted to buy gifts and for folks in town. And I went in and I said, "What American single malts do you have?" And the clerk, who I ask him every time I walk in, for new advice on something, and he automatically took me, in the whiskey row, and there's no section for American single malt, but he pointed out, Westward and Stranahan's and Balcones, and he knew exactly where they were and what they were and what their strengths were. And so he was at least aware that there's a category, and he was aware what that meant. It wasn't a big enough store. It's actually a pretty big store, but it wasn't big enough that they had room for a category next to bourbon or next to scotch or something. But they carry American single malt and know what it is. And so, I felt good about that, knowing I could walk into a neighborhood mom and pop of scale, that the guy knew what it was.
and I don't know about you guys, but for me, that's not the normal. The normal is if I were to walk in and ask that question, I'd get looked at like I had three heads.
Yeah.
You know, and what is it? I mean, is there anything that can be done consumer wise to help maybe change that thing? Is it just going in and beating up your local liquor store every time and be like, hey, you should get some American single malts and just keep repeating that? And
Well, yeah, nicely. I think it's the
yeah, obviously.
conversation. So I led with the question, and then have you ever tried Cedar Ridge or a Whiskey Delback? So I know Whiskey Delback and Cedar Ridge are both distributed in my town, and so I know he could pick them up. And he said, I've heard of both." And I said, "They're fantastic. I know they would sell well." And so, it's that kind of thing, like having some excitement for it. And I think that's the kind of thing that could get, just that rapport with the clerk and the buyers. And just knowing what's distributed is hard. I mean, if you're just a casual person, but you can go to a website of these brands and see what's in your area on their store finder, if they have one. And
Yeah.
they're okay, you're carried here. Let me go ask, will you pick this up? And eventually they might. Yeah. But I also, when I have friends over, which I love to do at least once a month, once a month, have a group of friends over. And I always will pour a row of sing malts and say, okay, bourbon friends or rye friends or Scotch friends, we're going to taste American single malts. And invariably, they're impressed. So,
Oh, excellent.
yeah.
I love that you're coming at this I mean, at your business, but also at this conversation as the perspective of a consumer, because that's what we try to do on Three Guys
That's
One
what we
Grain.
would try to do here.
And like, I mean, you couldn't have done any better. Like, just like forget about Big Thirst. Like, let's talk about what I do as a consumer.
Yeah,
Which is like, I really,
absolutely.
that's where you come in as a brand. That's why when I see Big Thirst as the fulfiller on an order, I'm excited because I know it's going to go well.
Absolutely.
I know that you care.
Yes,
Yeah.
right there with you. Absolutely.
And this is what everybody needs to hear from you, really, is that like you're one of us. You want this stuff to get into the right people's hands and everybody to have a great experience.
Well, Doug, that's important. Most of our team has worked at a distillery or at a winery. We hire wine club managers as our account managers and our customer service folks, because they know how to run all that back office stuff really well. And then we hire people who've worked at a distillery to be doing a lot of the other stuff because they understand what it's like to get your butt kicked on that side of the table. So if you got empathy for running a brand, you know, and you're a consumer of it, you can talk to a consumer way better than if you're just a, you know, a tech bro. Um, and you know, I worked in tech for a long time, and so you know, I understand propeller head speak too. I mean, I spent a lot of time in Silicon Valley, but um, this is what I really care about. And so, being a consumer of this, and you know, getting sommelier credentials and all that stuff, I care more about this. And so, because I've got, you know, the tech background, I know how to do the tech setup of, you know, e-commerce. Great, but really, this is what matters and what consumers really care about is what's in the glass.
Amen.
And what the distilleries make is what we really care about, right? It's the story about what's behind the curtain. You know, I got a chance to go last month to Cedar Ridge, and I spent the day in the distillery and, you know, tasting out of the tanks and out of barrels, and that's what energizes me, you know. And I've been to, you know, Santa Fe and getting to taste out of their barrels, and you know, that kind of thing is just, and same thing, you know, Westland and Westward, and you know, the people who are making it and tell you their stories and let you taste it and see it when it's happening, you know, they have the passion, they work long hours, and when you see them doing that work and then you get to experience it, it's hard not to fall in love and want to share that with everybody else, you know. And that's what we
Right.
get to do with Big Thirst. Like, okay, we get to tell your story and we get to help people, you know, enjoy the fruits of their labor. So it's fun for us.
Right.
So
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 that
while you were
that
talking there,
go ahead.
and Randall, then we'll go to you. I had
Yeah.
a total geek out moment while you were saying something, and then I had a fresh idea. And the geek out moment was when you said you were at Cedar Ridge and you tasted out of the tanks. How fantastic would it be to get a cast strength of the Solera regular, you know, quintessential? Oh my
That stuff,
God, is it awesome? It is just awesome.
that
And then
stuff
my
out of
my
that big Solera. I mean,
And then
it's
my thought was, can we change the name of this podcast to Four Guys One Grain and just have Matt come on every time because he's like,
Amen.
this is cool, dude. I
I
mean, this
just
guy is
yesterday my
awesome.
camera
Absolutely.
went blurry, so I gotta fix it. But yeah, it's not me drinking.
Amen.
I got blurry. But yeah, but
Yeah.
no,
Trying
that's
to get the
hilarious.
camera to
Like
pull
the
focus
cast
again is
strength,
so hard.
it is so insanely good, you know. And so, you know, Murphy, you know, I think he's a wizard, but so his whole team is. So yeah,
Amen.
Yeah. And then Randall, what were you gonna say?
Okay, so I'm trying to keep us on track because we're trying to knock this out in a couple of minutes. What ASM brands do you carry
okay,
at Big
so
Thirst?
yeah, McCarthy's
Hmm.
is
Okay,
one that
we're
I don't
sold.
have.
You can
I
stop right
finished.
there.
Yeah, you have
Yep.
behind me. I finished all my
Yep.
McCarthy's. I don't have any
Yep.
left, unfortunately. That
Really?
one's too hard for
Oh
me to
no,
keep
you
in
mean
stock
personally,
in
not Big
my
Thirst.
house. Um, Bird Creek is one. Santa Fe, Whiskey Delback, Cedar Ridge we mentioned. Gosh, I'm gonna miss some. Oh, Old Line out of Maryland,
Hmm.
Yep.
fantastic, like stellar. I need my cheat sheet. State Line out of Minneapolis, really good stuff.
Okay.
Um,
State line out of Madison.
yeah. Um,
Yeah,
yep.
Madison.
Wisconsin. Yep. Um, Sorry, wrong state. And
No,
then
that's good. That's one of my favorites. I
yeah,
love state line.
really good. And then Glacier out of Montana. They've got some really good single malt. Um, some that we don't carry, like they're not our clients, but they're in our store. We have Stranahan's in our store. Um, we've got Andalusia, our neighbors in Texas.
Yep.
I think those might be the only ones we've got that aren't our clients. But yeah, but I've got this Virginia distilling behind me. I bought that online. They're not our client, but I think Gareth and his team are doing great stuff, and so I wanted to represent them. And you can buy that online, just not through us. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then,
Oh, and another one that you can buy online is not through us is Westward, and I love them so much in Portland. And I've got a million of their bottles, and so and I love going there and I love buying their stuff. Westward you can buy online, but we don't carry them. See, they all should come to us. We should have every single malt. The entire commission should come to us.
Yeah.
But
Yes. Agreed.
some of them are with other
Agreed.
guys.
100%.
Yeah.
I
We're
think
gonna make it
I think
happen,
that's
guys.
a perfect pitch to Steve Howley. Just let's
Absolutely.
get
know.
everybody
Let's
on
go.
board with going through Big Thirst. I'm in for it, man. I'll
Yeah.
I'm in.
praise that to the roof.
Yeah.
How about
And
independent
uh,
Lost Lantern
Del
too.
Bac and
If
Santa
you could
Fe
talk Adam
spirits, right?
and Nora to switch over to us, we would love to have Lost Lantern.
Hey, you work that angle and we'll work our angle. We'll get
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
We'll get
Okay,
it.
that's a
Yeah.
subject, isn't it?
That's a
That
whole
is a
subject.
touchy
Moving on.
subject
Absolutely.
right now.
We're,
Yeah.
hey, we're moving on. Do
Moving on.
woo, stop. Do you see
How
a
about
trend?
sorry. I got one question about the brands real quick. Matt, how about any other or any independent bottlers that you do carry?
Barrel Tramp out of Texas. Yep. Carry them. Let's see. A lot of rum independent bottlers.
Okay.
But not single malt, no.
Marshall's gonna love it. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who you
know-
got on the rum front?
On rum, I mean that's totally off topic, but we've got a lot
Right.
of
Let's
independent bottlers there. Spinnaker Rum, brand new brand, actually just launched today with us. Rolling Fork, out of
Nice.
Indiana, they bottle at Starlight. Raising Glasses, Homeskey. Gosh,
So those names right there are huge. Those
Yeah,
are huge
that's
rum,
really good
rum
rum there.
producers,
Absolutely.
especially American rum bottlers and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Because
Well, us
really,
American single malt whiskey, craft whiskey nerds, we've heard these brands. These are, if you're deep enough on spirits, you've heard these brands.
and I love rum. I absolutely love rum.
Yeah.
So, all right, Randall,
I
keep
just
us
want
on
to
track.
confirm, you also carry Del Bac and Santa Fe spirits, right?
We do. Yep. Mhm.
I mean, just that in itself, because if you have been to either one of those distilleries or had their products, you know what you're getting into, and they're absolutely fantastic. And if you haven't heard of either one of those, you need to, because like it's a big deal. And I feel like the mesquited, not peated whiskey is coming into its fruition, and people are going to be thinking a lot more about these brands.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's
This is the
keep
old
going.
label.
Oh yeah,
but-
I love
Yeah.
that one.
This
Yeah.
is the unsmoked Colkegan.
Unsmoked.
Well, it's
Oh,
Santa Fe.
yeah.
It's not Colkegan anymore, but they do have
Right.
like you were just saying, they have it, non-smoked. So
Non-smoked. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so do you see a trend, or do anything? Whoa! Is there anything
Yeah,
that we can
there's
do?
an extra do in there.
There is. Do you see a trend in American single malt? And is there anything that us as producers or as promoters, what we can do to kind of excel American single malt as a category?
Yeah, and one thing that you're doing, podcasts like this that get to consumers that are easy to understand, and just share the excitement for it. Because I mean, bourbon lovers, if they taste American single malt, will like it's just another exploration of something cool. And if you like Irish whiskey, if you like Scotch, and you try this, you're like, oh, this is adjacent. If you like rye, this is adjacent. It's something really cool.
Right.
And just getting people to think about it as another category to try. One thing that you're doing, these podcasts is a great way to do it, but just sharing excitement. And it's like varieties of food. There's so many styles of like Thai food or Indian food, like subgenres of those types of cooking. Like, what do you mean you haven't had, or like, Mexican food? What do you mean you haven't had coastal or, whatever it is? And so it's opening people's eyes to varieties and why not try this? Because, getting people to like to be curious and wanting to know more and to expand their horizons. I think the exploration mode that people have been in so many other aspects of life. Like, I want to know more music, get deeper in the catalog. I want to know more food, the farm to table, and know more about what's going on my plate. It's tapping into that same curiosity and exploration into whiskey and going beyond Kentucky bourbon.
I
Absolutely.
love how you use the word adjacent instead of it's similar or it's it's a replication or an imitation. I
Mm-hmm.
love the adjacent word there because I feel like that's exactly what it is. It's whiskey like it, like you like, whether you're a Scotch or
Mhm.
Irish fan or a rye fan or whatever, it's adjacent to it and it's just that much different where it's fun to explore that. And
Yeah. I mean, if
yeah,
you're a serious
I love that word.
Japanese drinker, you're probably going to like this.
Mhm.
Mm. Okay, so I gotta ask. You mentioned that you have a storefront, which is an online storefront for Big
Yeah.
Thirst. So you said shopbigthirst.com was the place?
Yep.
Mhm.
Shop.bigthirst.com. Yeah.
Shop.bigthirst.com. Okay, excellent. So a lot of times when I end up doing business with Big Thirst, it's because I've ordered from McCarthy's or Del Bach or someone like that, and I don't necessarily know off the bat that it's going to be Big Thirst until
Right.
the email or the shipment comes in and it says it was fulfilled by Big Thirst. But
Right.
as we've been talking about, Big Thirst is a great way to get access to some of the best American single malt brands on the market. Can people just go directly to shop.bigthirst.com and browse your selection for some of those great American single malts?
Yes, you can. We are on purpose behind the scenes with all of our brands because we want you to fall in love with Whiskey Delback and we want you to fall in
Right.
love with McCarthy's because those are the stars. And you're going to learn those brands and want to know more about them and go back and buy those. And Big Thirst is not important, and we're a mechanism. You know, nobody really cares about a marketing agency and a e-commerce platform, right?
Mhm.
we're
Until you're nerds
the
like us
plumber,
and we get
And until
jazzed up about
until
this.
until you can't get your bottles and
right?
you're waiting for a month
Right.
and then all of a sudden, shit, where's all my bottles? I've spent all this money on whiskey and I can't get it. Who do I talk to? AI? Okay. Then we talk to Matt and
Then
he's the
we're
one that
Santa's
takes care
slave,
of it.
right? Now
You're
we're
welcome,
Santa's
Jeremy.
slave. But yeah, we do have a store that helps aggregate all those things, so it's easier to shop. And if you
Yeah.
end up browsing and picking up a bottle of cognac while you're at it, oh well, might as well do that too. But yeah, you can. It's an easier place to go, and if you want to buy cross category or buy multiple brands at one time. So you want to pick up Ironton, from Denver and get their
Great
single
brand, by
malt.
the way.
Yeah, yeah. I
Very
forgot to mention
Have
that.
lesser talked
have
about, but definitely a great brand. I just had their bourbon last night and I was like, how is this? This is so soft. I almost think I'm accidentally drinking their single malt.
Oh, their stuff is fantastic. Yeah, and across the board, like even down to their coffee liqueur. I mean, it's a relatively small craft distillery in Denver, but they
Mhm.
kill it.
Mhm.
speaking our language. Have
Yeah.
neither of you two done the actually went to Big Thirst website and shopped?
I don't think I
I
have.
have. I have
Okay,
actually.
At least not
you have,
not
Doug, you
intentionally.
have.
Like I haven't ever gone to my URL bar and typed in shop.bigthirst.com. I probably ended up there when I started at like HRD Spirits or Del Bach or whatever. I probably ended up there.
Man,
I never intentionally
I
went
got
to
to
the
tell
store.
you, I have shopped many online retailers for bottles
Right.
because in Wisconsin we don't get a lot of different stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but everybody can ship to us almost.
Mhm.
So Big Thirst was, and I'm going to say this, and it's not to blow smoke, Matt. This is an honest review of the website and the shop. Absolutely one of the best experiences I've had as far
Oh,
as
great.
shipping any kind of customer service that needed to happen, which was incredibly rare. And the actual page to look and browse at spirits was friendly to use.
Oh, good,
Uh,
good.
so it really is one of the best, if not the best, online retailers for lots of different craft brands of lots of different spirits. So if you haven't, anybody who's listening or watching, do that. Go check them out for a shipper or for a
Hey,
online retailer.
yeah. One thing that you bring up customer service, and one thing that we do is we use real people in the United States.
Oh yeah,
So we're not using
Shout
bots
ya.
and we're not using call centers. We're using real people. We're using
Amen.
employees, which is ridiculously stupid financially, but we do that.
And it's more
Hey,
important than
worth
ever
it.
because everybody's sold out to the AI chatbots that are stupider than they used to be.
They're horrible.
Right. Everybody thinks that generative AI LLM stuff is the answer to customer service chatbots, but
They're horrible.
what they had before, where it was like, if customer asks this, just reply with this. When it was simpler, it was actually better. And now it's just, you immediately feel that ChatGPT is talking to you and doesn't actually understand a damn thing you said.
you guys are going to get me all revved up again. You know that, right?
Yeah, we need to
It's a
stop.
whole topic. Yeah.
Whole
Okay. So
rabbit
let's reel it back in a little bit. Okay. So I think the rest of the questions that we had down there, different shades of the same thing, but I want to
Right,
ask
absolutely.
something that we should talk about, which is appropriate for the topic that we're trying to get into in this episode of Three Guys, One Grain, is so direct to consumer is a legally problematic category, right? It's not a universal thing. And yet you and some other brands have managed to be able to ship to the majority of states. How many states do you ship to, Matt?
So what we do to make this happen is we work with a network of retailers. And so that's what makes it possible is the retailers are the ones who are responsible for having the licenses and working with shipping within states. And so each the each retailer ships to a state or whatever it is. So we're working with distributors. The brand ships to a distributor who ships to a retailer, and so that's how it happens. And so it's using the 3-tier system in a different way. Instead of making you walk into a store, we're making the store come to you. And so the next layer of what we're doing is we've also turned on, and this is lingo talk, but our omni-channel approach, where we've just partnered with a company out of Napa. It's a startup that just launched and called Pour Now. And so we've integrated our tech with their tech. And so now, like if you go to True Story, which is I don't know if you can see that bottle, I'm not gonna grab it, but Wes Henderson, who did Angel's Envy, he started a new brand called True Story. And so if you go to their website, we just launched theirs. And if you go to the Find It, instead of having a map with little pins on it, it's going to show you what's going to deliver. Well, first of all, you can buy through Big Thirst, so ship it, or closest to me for fastest delivery, best price for delivery, or pick it up. So omni-channel is the buzzword, the marketing term for that. So omni-channel means get it anyway. And so that's where we're going now with all of our clients, is offering consumers a chance to get it as fast as you can, as cheap as you can, anywhere you can. So we can either ship it to you UPS or deliver it to you from your home store. And so that's what we're doing now. So making it possible to, what really want to do is for our clients, they only care about making it really easy for consumers to buy. And we really care about the same thing. And so, if you put that on, instead of those stupid maps with pins on it, why not have a little tile that says, push this and you get it right
Amen.
now, and if you live in a place like in Wisconsin and, Delback is not on the shelf there. I don't know if it is or not. You still just get
Very,
it
very
from
seldomly.
yeah. You just get it shipped from Big Thirst. Yeah, but so
Yeah.
back to your question about DTC is we are approximating DTC. We are not DTC. So
Mm.
we're,
Right.
using 3-tier to make it look like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
I was telling somebody about like, hey, I just ordered from. It happened to be Westward, which, as you mentioned, is not one of the brands you carry.
They should be.
Or rather, you carry, but
Amen.
they're the store carries it, but it's not one of the brands you
Yeah.
you do the store for. That's what you said. Okay. So I happened to be talking to somebody who works in the wine industry, and I said, hey, I just got this box from Westward, and he said, they delivered that to your door? I don't think they're doing that legally. And I'm like, well, actually, like I know it's not. I know it's legal because it's not technically DTC, and I just don't know how exactly it works. So thank you for sort of filling in that gap for me.
Yeah.
Amen.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
because I think there was some there's some confusion. I don't think
There really
DTC
is.
will ever actually be a thing because of the 3-tier system. It's like,
Yeah.
um, and there's weird laws in every state, right?
Yeah.
And like for me, if I were to do it when I do a barrel pick, the bottles absolutely 100% have to be sold through a retailer.
Right.
It doesn't matter
Correct.
in the state of Wisconsin; it has to be sold through a retailer,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's part of that 3-tier system. So from source to uh, uh, distributor to retailer and then to consumer, it has to go through that channel.
Right.
You guys are just kind of using that in order to achieve still 3-tier system, but make the consumer feel like they're ordering and just receiving.
It looks like they're ordering
Yes.
from Cedar Ridge or Whiskey
Mhm.
Delback.
Right.
And
And
but when you swipe your credit card, you're actually paying a retailer
yes,
and like you've walked into a store.
right.
Yeah.
And I
The,
think
the
it's important
credit
that
card
people know that
processing
that's
goes
actually
directly
how it
to their
happens.
bank. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So when people say like, oh, why are we pushing so hard on DTC legislation? Because Discus still has, I think, a survey out where you can lend your voice to a petition, yada yada yada. Go do that. But and then they're saying at the same time, like, oh, well, I get stuff delivered from distilleries to my door all the time. Doesn't DTC basically exist? The answer is no. It's a
No.
big ass workaround.
It would
Yeah,
be so much
there's a
easier
lot
if
of
it existed. And I'll tell you, we would benefit a lot because it would make it so much more streamlined. And a lot of companies say, "Well, wouldn't that put you out of business?" Like, no,
No.
because distilleries don't want to do what we do.
yeah, because you're
Yeah.
still taking the brunt of the web store and
Mm-hmm.
the packaging and the shipping and all of that
Yeah.
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right. Somebody that's running a small distillery, they don't have time for that. They would
No,
have
they
to
can't
hire
do
on a
it.
whole other 2 or 3 people to take care of just that portion. It's
Yes.
way easier to go to a company and say, "Hey, can you take care of this part for me?"
Yeah, I tell
Yep.
you, small wineries hire 1 or 2 or 3 full-time people to do what we do with a fraction of a person.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
absolutely.
economy of scale. I mean, so I work in software as my day job. I say all the time, now is a time more than ever where, everybody's like, oh, tech is dead or whatever. It's like, no, now is the time where every company needs to digitize and automate, and like you just need to like change your expectations from you're going to be working at the Microsofts and the Amazons and the Chat GPTs of the world, and more that all the jobs in programming are for, I mean, people buy food and alcohol and experiences, and all of those things need digital modernization. Those are the
Yes.
companies you're going to end up working for. That's where digital growth is.
Absolutely.
It's where
Okay.
people
So
spend money.
last question, and we got to get you out of here because I know
Yep.
your time is precious and ours is too. Do you see ASM having an impact in the market in the future?
It already is having an impact
It
in the
is.
market. Yeah, and so do I see it having an impact in the future? Yes. It's a serious category and it's going to continue to grow. There are some fantastic producers in this country making outstanding whiskey, and it's going to continue to gain recognition, gain following, and grow as a very serious category. And I can tell you, some of the bottles on the counter right here. There are influencers who do the barrel picks, Jeremy, you were just talking about, and they sell those barrel picks quickly. And when some of these brands do a release, they sell out in minutes. 500 bottles in 2 minutes. And so that's when you do that kind of thing, that's not a ton of bottles, but when you start doing that, at scale,
every 2
there's
months.
economic impact,
Yeah.
right? And so yes, there's there it will have standing. It's not going to be Scotch level anytime soon.
No.
But it sure will be a category of substance very soon. It already is, and I think it's going to continue to grow.
I love that answer.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah.
It makes me happy.
Yeah,
It does. It does
Absolutely.
make me happy because I feel the same way. I feel like, and I have a weird opinion about it because, like, obviously, I want to push American single malt as much as I possibly can. Like, I think it's fantastic. I think it's really cool that we get to see this conception, this and execution of a category coming to life in our time. Like, realistically, I mean, obviously, bourbon was made the spirit of America in, like, what was
Right.
that, the 1960s. But
Mhm.
when bourbon was created as a category, there isn't a person alive today that when that happened, they're not a, there's nobody alive today that was around when that happened.
Right.
So we're seeing this new thing come in the spirits industry and this new category come to life, and I love that. And my dilemma here is it's something new. It's like when you live somewhere and a brand new restaurant opens up. That restaurant is super popular for the first 2 months or 3 months or 4 months.
Right.
And then all of a sudden it's not as popular anymore. Everybody was talking about it, and now everybody in the town has had it. And now it's just kind of fizzled off into the basic, we go there once every month or
I don't
whatever.
know. This isn't that way.
I hope it's not. And that's one of those, like, lingering fears, like that's going to happen. And I hope it doesn't. And I want to know, like, or I want to keep pushing and making sure that that doesn't happen. Like, it doesn't get on the back burner.
Well,
Right.
McCarthy's. I just keep looking at that over Doug's shoulder. I mean, that's not new. Yeah,
No,
over
they're
both
not
the
new.
shoulders, right? I mean, that's not a new bottle of whiskey. And so that's got dust on it, and people still love the hell out of it.
Yeah.
And here's a little anecdote. I think about like 8 or 9 years ago, the American Single Malt Commission had a tasting at 7 Grand in Austin, and I went to it, and there may be 30 people there. Jared from Balcones came in, and Colin from Santa Fe came in, and a handful of guys came in. There were probably more panelists than there were drinkers. Maybe I'm exaggerating. And then I went to the one in Denver. What
Yeah,
was that,
Denver.
a year and a half ago? Doug,
Yep.
what was it?
Yeah. It
And-
was March 2024. Yeah,
Yeah,
a year
that
and a
was-
half ago. Yeah.
How many people were there? It's 200.
The
300.
crowd probably 200. The brands, I think it was about 30.
It was huge. You couldn't barely
That's
get
awesome.
through that crowd.
Yeah.
That's
It
what
was-
we want.
So much bigger in short amount of time. And like what? That I mean, that is something to think about, like that kind of growth. And I think it's going to continue to go like that. And the number of brands that were making very good stuff, not just okay stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Listen to
also
more,
that 7 grand tasting, it's not just the brands that were there and the number of people that were there. And yeah, it was sort of a side event at the ACSA 2024 conference. But people literally came to the conference specifically because of that highlight focused on American single malt whiskey. We
Yes.
had the Whiskey Nomad came in, flew in specifically for that event and then left the conference early. Becky Paskin came in for that
Yeah.
event and the ASMWC meeting.
Mhm.
The Edinburgh Whiskey Academy came to the to the commission meeting to record segments with everybody for their own educational material about American single malt whiskey. Like that was a huge, like, touchstone event in the category.
Mhm.
And that all happened before ratification. But then, like
Yeah.
Germ said, ratification happened almost a year ago,
Yeah.
and everybody said, "Okay, great," and then took our foot off the gas of like marketing this thing, right?
Well,
I feel like that happened. I feel like I did it myself. Like,
A little bit, me too. Yeah, part of it is
Yeah.
just you've been working so hard for so long, and you're like, "Okay, cool, we achieved something. We reached the end
We
of the
got a thing.
marathon. Now we got to take a rest before we run the next marathon."
right. Well, more work to
And
be
that's
done,
why
right?
Yeah, more work
that
to be
is
done.
why we are here right now.
Yeah,
We are here to pass
that
pass
really
the
is why
baton
kind of we
and
started this
keep
this
hauling ass forward.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why we're
That's
here.
what Three Guys One Grain is about. It's about a renewed focus on marketing this from a consumer perspective, because people are tired of hearing like interview after interview from industry people who want to sell their stuff and not hearing as much from consumers who are this jazzed about it.
right.
So
And
Amen.
and Matt, I got to commend you on I mean, you came in here and you could easily promote Big Thirst marketing for everything, and in every answer that you gave, you could have easily spun it into a promotion for Big Thirst, and you didn't. You spun it into a promotion for loving this category of whiskey,
Amen.
and
100%.
it's so awesome to hear that.
Yeah, well,
Amen.
that's what people really care about is the whiskey, right? And that's what we're
Right.
here to help you get
Absolutely.
is the whiskey.
Absolutely. Well, can't think of a better way to cheers out.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I
Gentlemen,
really appreciate you
so
having
too.
me on, and I'd love to drink with you anytime I see you in
Absolutely.
your town, or your town. Cheers, guys.
Absolutely, anytime.
Appreciate it.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
And we're back.
Cork pop.
Oh, we're not actually going to play the interview?
What, you
You
think I
can
can
edit
do that
this
in
out.
here?
You're gonna sit here for 45 minutes. What is wrong with you? No.
Well,
No,
we're drinking whiskey and we're talking about
smarter,
cool
not harder.
whiskeys to drink at Christmas.
Now, did you guys take notes and remember everything that was said in that interview?
Absolutely not.
I took dictation.
Yeah.
I had Spicy sitting next to me doing the courtroom. What do they
Oh
call
yeah,
it?
the shorthand. Yeah.
What is that?
The,
That person has an exact name.
Yeah. Not scribe. Court recorder?
Maybe.
Jester.
Jester.
What's the machine called? I don't know. Dictation machine. I know exactly what you're talking about. I can't bring it to mind right now. My
Anyway,
head is swimming in too many names of whiskeys. Speaking of which, after that interview, I went and got a clarification on the list of names because there was some crosstalk and we didn't quite hear them all. So I just want to call them all out now. So Big Thirst does the sales fulfillment for Barrel Tramp, Bird Creek, Bluebird Distilling, Cedar Ridge, Copper Fox Distillery, Glacier Distilling, Good Deeds Spirits, which they did for free, which is super cool. Ironton Distillery and Craft House, McCarthy's Single Malt, Old Line Spirits, Santa Fe Spirits, Spirit Hound Distillers, State Line Distillery, Whiskey Del Bach. Barrel Tramp, by the way, is an IB, and they have some other IBs also, but these were rum IBs that we went over. So that's Spinnaker Rolling Fork, which is in Indiana, bottled at Starlight, Raising Glasses, Faraday Rum, Rum 28. This is just turned into a long list now, but just to finish it off anyways, these are not Big Thirst clients, but they are in shop.bigthirst.com, which will be relevant in a moment. You can get Stranahan's, Idlewild Spirits, Judson and Moore Distillery, Eight Shires, Colonial Distillery, Modestet and Sons, and Andalusia. No, or that's a non.
They're no more.
you can get it from there until they run out of stock because there
Yeah,
ain't no more.
exactly. Until they don't have any
Right.
bottles.
So most of these, except for Stranahan's, are their previous clients. And so Andalusia, they have, unless it's sold out, but Andalusia has also has their own online stores. We'll get to that. And these are not Big Thirst clients, but you can get them online, VDC, Westward, and Westland. This is not by any means an exhaustive list of distilleries that you can get online that will ship to you, but it is a list, and lists are good every once in a while, but lists also suck. So I'm going to stop now.
Did you breathe during that whole 2-minute spiel?
No, he didn't.
Look, I'm a musician. I've mastered the art of breathing without interrupting the cadence, you know?
Wow.
Excellent.
Wow.
It's a talent, right? Like you said, I'm good at filling dead air.
I'm like after your about third thing you rattled off on that list, it was in and out. I didn't even catch most of them. However, what I did catch was Big Thirst sells a lot of American single malt whiskey, amongst other things. But they are a great online retailer to go to get shipped to you when you want to buy some new American single malts.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to clarify, all of those that we listed were American single malts, except for the rum IBs that I mentioned.
Right. And
That's
there
just
is
'cause that
other
came up in the
spirits there
conversation.
as well. There is
There's
there
other
is
spirits
bourbons,
there.
there is ryes, there is brandies,
Lots
cognac,
of other ones.
it's all kinds of stuff.
If I'm not mistaken, Liberty Pole is actually one of the companies
Really?
that Big Thirst does. And Liberty Pole mostly doesn't have, they don't have any American single malt on Big Thirst. They retail just the peated rye and the Monongahela rye and their bourbon cream, I believe. There might be a bourbon in there too.
Right.
So enough of lists. We got to get into like the color commentary, the flavor, you know? So we set ourselves a prompt, which is we're going to recommend American single malt whiskey gift giving guide. And we know that this is going to come out. It's going to be a little bit too late for you to actually get bottles shipped to people. We understand that, but we have a solution for you. So before we go any further on like giving you the list, just know shop.bigthirst.com is a whole online store. And we recommend this not because this is sponsored in any way. It's absolutely not, but because Big Thirst is a really cool company. They do great stuff. Anytime any of us has ordered from Big Thirst, we've had a great experience. This is a brand that we wholeheartedly recommend. And it's a brand that's not a brand, right? They aren't a brand. They work with a bunch of brands, but because they're so damn good, everyone knows who they are. They built a brand by not building a brand, by just being damn good, reliable,
right,
spirits retailing and shipping and delivery.
Yep, absolutely.
So that's awesome. So cool thing about that store, you actually can buy gift cards for your people. And then they can go and buy what they want to buy and try whatever they want. You can make recommendations. You can let them loose and do whatever they want. But that is definitely a thing to recommend. And because there's so many brands available on that store, that's like buying somebody, you know, like, I don't know, like a ticket to the mall. I don't, who does, whatever. I don't know. You bought them a ticket to the county fair, go on whatever rides you want, right? Like have absolutely. That, get them a gift card and let them go try some stuff. So I think that's great. Okay. So our prompt was, I've said it a couple times, great whiskey that you can get shipped to your people.
Right.
I talked too much, so I'm not going to start. Or to yourself, yeah. I'm not going to start because I've talked too much already. Randall, what you got?
Okay. Fire it off, Randall. Let's go.
Okay, so just to let you know, I popped open this bottle tonight, and this is a single cask of Colkeegan apple brandy finished. And why am I drinking Colkeegan? Well, this has been sitting on my shelf for a couple of years, and I haven't popped it open. And I thought, I'm a dummy. I need to drink it. Colkeegan makes some amazing stuff. They are kind of on Big Thirst, but they are also distributed to about 11 different states, and you can get them online as well, and they ship through Flaviar as well. But that is one of the things that we talk about a lot, and it's fine. So the cool thing about Colkeegan is they are a Southwest mesquite smoked American single malt, and if you've never had that, similar to Whiskey Del Bach, it's very much like a peated Scotch, but it's a little bit different. And this one is coming in at 92 proof. It's absolutely fantastic in the glass. Obviously, this is the neck pour if you believe in that, but the fact that Colkeegan, you're able to get it, and I've seen it more now that it has turned into Santa Fe Spirits. I've seen it more now. It's actually on the shelf at my local liquor store here in Texas. So go see if you can find some. And if not, Big Thirst has a gift card for you. So what was my other one that I was talking about? I don't remember.
I believe you said
in your backyard.
Am I talking about Andalusia?
You are.
You
Okay,
said
so
Delback and
Andalusia
Andalusia.
obviously is possibly, and I'm going to say this with full confidence, it is my favorite American single malt. Period. Not only because they are close to me, that helps a lot, and not only that Moose Allen is a absolute madman when it comes to making American single malt, and Ty
A
and Tommy
genius,
and all the
man.
guys over there are just absolutely fantastic. The distillery is great. They have the Speakeasy Grill right next to it. We've talked about it multiple times on this show, let alone on everybody else's show, right?
Yep.
Andalusia is one of the dark horses of American single malt, and we don't talk about them enough. Well, the good thing is they not only are on Big Thirst, sometimes you gotta watch out. You can find them there, but if you go on andalusiawhiskey.com, you can find most of their whiskeys, and they will be shipped to you by a distributor. They're normally shipped to about 35 different states. The issue is Texas. They have a hard time shipping within their own state because of 3-tier stuff, but they can do it on some things.
Yeah,
So
and
you'll
also
just
it's
have
made
to
difficult by the fact that if it's after 5 p.m. or on a Sunday, nobody can handle any booze.
absolutely. That's exactly because
Me.
we are so antiquated. We live in 1894 now. But anyway, that's beside the point. Texas is innovating in other things, and in whiskey, we're like in the dark ages. But at the same time, I know I and everybody on this show has talked about Andalusia till we're blue in the teeth, and it is an amazing brand that you need to go out and find. Their Madeira cask finished Striker won the best small batch American single malt, or single malt in the world, not American single malt in the world. It beat out a 30-year-old Bunnahabhain. So if you can beat that, that's a pretty good praise.
Yeah.
So go to andalusiawhiskey.com and pick up a bottle. I guess that's it, right?
That's your
Yeah.
that's your spit.
I guess
So you went with Santa Fe actually, but we were going to talk about Delbach, I thought.
I mean, I can talk about Del Bach too. Like, it's the same thing, just in Arizona.
Runner up Del Bach.
Carbon copy. Those guys, copycats. No,
Mark, I'm sorry, you're not the same. I know. Ode to Redacted needs to be a
gets
thing.
Mark gets a lot of shit from anything that Germ's involved in, right? We had the hate crimes call out from the Hood Sommelier.
Yeah.
I went and apologized to him after that for that, because now that I'm doing 2 podcasts, I'm like losing track of what podcast I talked about what on and when.
You're not even kidding, bro.
So
we cut out for this. Like, what is
and,
going on?
we're giving it the old college try. So
Absolutely.
this bottle of Andalusia is cask number 2 from 2025. So this is a relatively new one. And actually, I think I just got too much stuff around the same time, so I actually didn't open this until today, and it's really good. You saw my reaction to that. Sorry, this one's the finished in a tequila cask. Peated Texas single malt whiskey finished in a tequila cask. Yeah.
Speaking of that one, Adam didn't headshot that bottle, and he just had that sample on the blind sample showdown.
And I saw that, and that's why I'm thinking about this bottle. I'm like, you know what? I got to try that bottle. It's a shame. I've got so many things that Germ has that I haven't even tasted in my collection, and if I whiff it because I just never bothered to open the bottle, that would be a damn shame.
Absolutely.
All right. Am I going here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or are you going, Doug?
You're going.
I could go.
All right. Well, I'll go.
As long as we're swinging quickly on by Delbach, I just want to say I owned this bottle since before the redaction, and this here is Ode to Isla. And to be quite honest, I don't think it needed to be called Ode to Isla, because, like, to me, it's just like it's heavily smoky, yes, and I think the similarity kind of ends at that point. And Isla's more than that too. But it's really cool when you pack this much mesquite smoke into a whiskey, you really do get that same kind of iodine.
Yeah.
So like I see where that's coming from, right? Like when I first tasted this, I genuinely was not expecting. I was like, it's mesquite smoke. How much like Isla could it really be? And I was actually really surprised at how close it came across as being a very similar kind of thing. But they're not allowed to call it Ode to Isla anymore. And I'm going to display this proudly on my shelf in defiance, because craft whiskey has a hard enough time as it is. It doesn't need the SWA breaking them down at every opportunity.
Amen.
It does not. All right. So a couple brands that I have here that are excellent whiskeys. They are shipping to most places. And one of the distilleries, you can get any kind of spirit you like. So without further ado, Virginia Distilling, the Virginia Distilling Company. Let's go there. They make the Courage and Conviction single malt. That is their flagship. Well, I don't want to say their flagship, but it's their flagship. It's the base model, so to speak. It's 46%.
And also the premium line. The base model is the premium line.
Yes, it is aged in ex-bourbon cask. It is aged in sherry cask. It is aged in brandy cask. Blended together, makes the release. Absolutely delicious stuff. Very good entry level whiskey from them. Price wise, it's about $70 for that bottle. Now, Virginia Distilling Company also does some other very, very cool things. For example, they put out fantastic whiskey at very reasonable prices. They have here the VDC line or the VHW line. $35, $40, depending on where you're finding it. You are actually going to the store and finding these on the shelves, readily available. Not to mention, you can get them on the website if your local stores are not carrying them. This particular one is a cider cask finish, but they have a whole gamut of different finishes in this line. Very inexpensive whiskey, very good whiskey. They also run the Brewers Coalition, which is kind of new for the last maybe year and a half or so.
Right.
What they're doing is they're getting together with local and non-local breweries that do stout and barrel aged stouts. Then they take those barrels and they put their distillate in it. They call out the brewery that they worked with and the name of that stout that they had in that barrel. This particular one is the Black Gold. I picked this one because it is from Central Waters, which is a local brewery to me.
Right.
Yes, VDC, VirginiaDistillingCompany.com, I believe, is the website. There's some other really cool.
Let me check. I think it's VADistillery.com.
It might be VADistillery.com. Yes.
Yes, that's the one.
Okay, VADistillery.com. There's some other very cool things you can do there. Aside from shop for whiskey, you can become knowledgeable in the category of American single malt. You can take a little course and get yourself a little plaque and a pin, and it's very cool. So check them out while you're there, order some whiskey, and then take the little course. It takes about 20 minutes to do. So next up, most people know about this distillery. They get talked about all the time, and for very good reason. They make great whiskey. They make great bourbon. They make great rye. And, of course, they make great American single malt. None other than Cedar Ridge. I have a couple examples here to show you. I'm not going to pull them all because, realistically, what you want to know about Cedar Ridge is they have an entry level. It is the quintessential. It is 92 proof, 46%. It is a Solera type of American single malt. Lots of there's two different whiskeys basically that are made. There's a peated whiskey and a non-peated whiskey. Peated whiskey goes in ex-bourbon barrels only for a few years. The non-peated whiskey goes in ex-bourbon for about 2 years, and then some transferring to various other types of barrels. They all then get dumped into a Solera vat that never goes below 50% fill level, and they bottle from there. It is fantastic. It is a great entry-level whiskey, $60, $65 for the bottle. Absolutely perfect. You can find that on the shelf as well. You can also order that direct from their website, or I believe you can order that from shopbigthirst.com. So if you are in the United States, you can buy that bottle no matter what. Some of the other things to pay attention to from Cedar Ridge: black labels. When you see the black and silver label, that is a Murphy Quint special edition, basically, is what that is. He works on a project all about 6 months or so. Lots of blending, lots of barrel finishing, lots of other stuff. Then they bottle it. They give it a really quirky name. This particular one is the Pete and Sherry, the first anniversary. The other things to pay attention to are these white labels with the silver bottom. These are single casks. You will get a multitude of different styles here, but most of the time you're going to get Cedar Ridge malt finished in whatever type of barrel it is, and it'll tell you right on the label. This particular one is peated malt finished in an ex-peated malt cask. So this is peat overload from Cedar Ridge, and it is really, really good.
I'm sure.
But again, check them out. Cedar Ridge. Just go in your Google search bar and type in Cedar Ridge Distillery, and it'll pop up.
Yeah.
I don't even know the website. Doesn't matter. You're gonna find it. It's easy. But seriously, VDC, Cedar Ridge, both excellent American single malts, both readily available all over the place. Great gifts to anybody and to yourself. So
I thought I had more glasses here, but I'm going to be one short.
Oh
well, that means I have to choose.
Are you trying to drink everything we're talking about?
I just poured them to sip along. I'm not going to drink them all.
I mean, I have one drink. That's it. Just one.
Look, you know, when I get to sit around with whiskey nerds, I like pouring a little bit. Honestly, this is even a heavy pour for what I would usually do in this setting.
Right.
You know, pour like 5-10 milliliters or something, have a couple sips and move on.
Move on.
All
right.
Some of these bottles, sometimes when you pour from a new bottle, you go a little heavy handed.
Right.
But yeah. So yeah, I figured I'd sip along, right? I love sitting around with whiskey enthusiasts and just like, let's talk about it for real. Like, okay, it's one thing to say, okay, these are brands we recommend, but like the reality is we all drink all of these brands and we're all fans of all of these brands. Like I wouldn't say, oh, Santa Fe, I don't drink Santa Fe. Like that's your recommendation, not mine. No, like it's all great stuff.
You know, realistically, I mean, Cedar Ridge, Virginia, obviously there's a bunch of others that we're not mentioning. Please don't limit yourself to what we're talking about. If it says American single malt and the stats look okay, pick it up, try it. Who cares? Absolutely. I mean, worst you're out is what, the 60, 70 bucks of a bottle. That's generally the average age or price range of these things. Obviously there's special editions and different ones that go up higher, but try it out, you know, report back.
And a lot of these that we've just named are actually like the value, like the greatest values in American single malt too, because there's a lot of, so like VDC, yes, they have the premium line, but like you said, it's only 70 bucks, 70, 80, I think is like on the high end.
Yeah.
I think the Cuvée cask is a little more expensive, but
like, it is, but, and you expect that.
Yeah. And like out of everything we talked about, Andalusia, very affordable.
Right.
I think the most expensive bottle I saw from them was 70 bucks, and that was a single barrel hand fill that I did at the distillery. So that makes sense. It was also a rum, but you know, they make great rum. No problems there.
He does make great rum.
Yeah. VDC, right? Like you said, runs the gamut from, if 70 is high, like that's great because like there's a lot of distilleries that are doing it for a lot more expensive than that. And then you've got 35 on the low end. I poured I think that the Bourbon County, the Goose Island Bourbon County Stout Cask one, this was $45, I believe. And I poured this after that Andalusia single cask. And I'm not going to say that it's better, but like the other thing about these whiskeys that we picked out is that they run the gamut of the flavor spectrum of American single malt between them.
Yep.
There's not a lot of real similarity between.
There's a lot of variance. Yeah.
There's a lot of variation. And so like, I had the Andalusia and I was like, okay, that's cool. It's a little hot, 61.2%. That's the first thing I sipped. that was a tall order. And then I went and had the Brewers Collection, which is 50% bottled in bond. I was like, okay, that's good. I really like that. I think I like that better than the Andalusia. Then I went back to the Andalusia and I'm like, no, I like that better. Right. It's one of those things where they're different enough and they're both really good that like context and mood really matters.
Are they really bottled in bond?
It is. So this
it's 50%.
No, this one specifically, you can see is bottled in bond.
Bottled in. Okay.
Yeah.
This one doesn't say it on it, so.
I don't think they all are. I think they're all 50%, but I don't think they're all bottled in bond. I don't know why that's the case.
I mean, you would think they would be because they're all in bonded warehouses, right? I mean,
well, yeah, but there's other
single season thing.
Single season.
I guess you're right. Yeah.
all the stuff.
I'm pretty sure we asked Amanda Beckwith about that on the episode where we talked about Brewers Coalition, was like a year and a half ago. So you could go relearn about it. I got to go relearn about it. A year and a half is a long time. All right.
So
you're waiting on my recommendations. Okay.
You got to get your recommendations in.
So for me, obviously, look, I'm biased. I've got a single barrel pick, but I did this pick because of McCarthy's, because I love McCarthy's.
Amen.
So that's the one I picked out to pour. So even though I said, hey, I've got the McCarthy's 10-year that we talked about for the Lost Lantern, probably whiskey of the year. I'm like 99% sure this is whiskey of the year. But the one that I poured, that's why I said I have to choose. The one I actually poured was my my single cask. McCarthy's is awesome. Everything they do is, I mean, it's inspired by Lagavulin, but it's smoky whiskey made in an American way. So you've got, it's malty, it's smoky, but they also put an American twist on it. They age it in Garyana oak barrels. And so you get that different type of oak going on. And their refill is not necessarily new oak. So it's just a different type of oak, which is really cool. You get a different kind of flavor profile than anything else you get in the United States, even the other peated ones. So Boulder Spirits does some peat, Cedar Ridge does some peat, right. 888 apparently does some peat now, right? Andalusia does some peat, right? You've got peat that goes across the United States. There's not that many of them though, and the McCarthy's is unique. To me in the peat profile, the peat plus the Garyana. Technically, Westland's also doing the same kind of thing. Right. And I do have a single cask from Westland that is a refill Garyana Highland peated. So it's essentially the same spec as McCarthy's. It's from Baird's peated. I need to do that side by side. I think that's going to be really cool. But so my first recommendation is McCarthy's. You can get this on Big Thirst. And actually, you can also order anything else from the Clear Creek catalog while you're placing an order. If you go to hrdspirits.com, you can go to their shop. You can get everything. I don't know if this is true of all the Big Thirst things, but for the McCarthy's one, you can get, it's the same $20 shipping up to 6 bottles. So that's good to know. And they've got pear brandy and apple brandy, and they've got some bourbon, and like, it's kind of anything you could possibly need for the holidays. So if you were going to go to one brand, I would definitely recommend everything from Clear Creek, hrdspirits.com. But McCarthy's especially. This is my favorite whiskey in the world. I used to be shy about saying that. It's a strong statement, but I've tested it time and time again. I've tested it blind, thanks to the Blind Sample Showdown. I've tested it blind, thanks to my wife pulling some stuff off my shelves for me. It comes out ahead.
It does.
It really does. I can imagine someday it'll be beat blind, but it hasn't happened yet.
Man, I got to tell you, and I said it last night, and somebody funnily put it in the chat as a quote from me. But yeah, McCarthy's absolutely the best peated whiskey in America for sure, hands down. It is very possible that that's one of the best peated whiskeys in the world.
Absolutely.
And you're specifying peated, so that tells me that you think that there's a better unpeated here or elsewhere.
Man, I got to tell you what, if McCarthy's comes out and drops a 6-year-old unpeated single malt, you know I'm buying it. You know I'm trying it. And I would love to see what they do without the peat. Not that I dislike the peat. I love peat in peated whiskey. But I think there's something very, very cool when you can do both and get away and still make killer stuff. And I can imagine that she would make killer stuff if it's unpeated McCarthy's.
Possible single barrel coming soon. No,
just wait 6 years, no problem.
That's fake news. Fake news.
Actually, on that note, one of my favorite things from Islay is unpeated Kalila.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I actually think that unpeated Kalila, I mean, for sure is better than peated Kalila, which is part of the problem there is it's blending stock. It's dime a dozen stuff. I think they put more care into the unpeated stuff because it's a specialty product, which actually they don't even make anymore.
Are you still referencing from Stitchell Reserve from several years ago, like 2018? It came out.
No.
Are you talking about, because that was the last one that came out, and there's now one from 2024. So there was a stretch when they didn't release one. So you either had 2018 or 2024.
I actually have much older ones than that.
Thanks to a collector friend.
Older stuff, yeah.
Right.
I have like one from like 2015 or something.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. They don't release it much anymore. They don't make it anymore. They still got it
Right.
aging. It's like a Feshiel release they do sometimes.
Yeah.
Right.
So I've been able to try that Stitchel Reserve from 2018. That knocked my socks off. That was fantastic whiskey. Absolutely fantastic whiskey. The one from 2024, very good whiskey, doesn't really make it to the bar that last one did. So I would love to see what some of those older ones are. I'll have to get back out there by you, Doug.
Yeah, and they come in lots of different ages too.
Mhm.
Like it's one of those things where it's a specialty release. They release it when it's ready. One of those things. I've seen them like 7 years old, 18 years old. I had a friend who had so many different unpeated Kalila expressions that he just did a Franken blend and stuck them in a barrel to give him a finish, which I may have had something to do with that. At one point in time, I had Clear Creek pear brandy in my 2-liter barrel, and then we put unpeated Scotch in it, and then we put a mix of unpeated Kalila and peated lag new make in the barrel just to see what would happen. Because this guy collected so many different, like it was he went ham at auctions in like from like 2020 onward. He went ham at auctions, got like all these unpeated Kalilas, all these lag new makes, and at some point he was like, I don't know what to do with any of this stuff. Let's just throw it in a barrel and see what happens.
Well, and you do know
It
we
probably
are
made the
talking
lag
about
better,
Scotch
but
right
it made
now.
the Kalila worse. So
We're talking about Scotch right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
ASMW
It happens.
podcast.
It happens. It happens. All right, let's move on. So
Second
speaking of Scotch,
recommendation.
we had a Scotsman come over from Scotland and decided to make an American single malt in Boulder, Colorado, the American way. And so what they do at Boulder Spirits is it's Scottish stills, it's local barley, it's new oak at high elevation. And they sometimes do some peat and sherry and all that fun stuff. So you get a real, like, let's do like all the Scotch things except new oak is going to be the thing. So Boulder Spirits is my second recommendation. And the really cool thing about Boulder Spirits is, like, honestly, well, there's so many cool things about it, but the price is incredible. All of their single malts are between $55 and $75 on their website. They've got 6 for sale on their website right now, 6 different ones. So they've got a peated one, they've got a port cask finish, they've got just the regular new American oak, they've got a bottled and bond. I think they got an older bottle, and so there's 2 different bottled and bonds, like a 5-year and a 7-year. And then they have the special releases. So this one's Leave No Trace, which is just a hint of peat, and it's got a sherry cask on it. And this, I think this goes toe to toe with like a lot of like that style of that lightly peated, lightly sherried Scotch. And it's a good match for it, and just something a little bit different.
I think Boulder does fantastic stuff.
Amen.
So, all right. So all of those being said, those recommendations, those 6 or 7 brands that we talked about, those are great places to start. If you are unsure about what to get somebody for an American single malt or yourself for an American single malt, those are excellent brands to start with. They're all very good. They're all great representations of the category in and of itself. And they're all very different from each other, which is really cool because it starts to show, if you start looking at a map and where they came from, it starts to show some regionalities of American single malt, which I think is a very cool thing.
I was thinking about regionality of American single malt, and look at the size of Scotland. Just like everybody's tempted to like, what are the regions of American single malt? Everybody's tempted with that question, right?
We're way too big.
Look at the size of Scotland, and they've got 5 regions, right? Literally every state is its own damn region, and Colorado is a perfect example of that. There's so many single malts in Colorado, and they've got a style that's kind of in common between them. There's differences,
so
of course.
different.
There's many differences, of course, but there's a style that's kind of in there. And you're like, okay, so Colorado single malt whiskey feels like a style. There's not that many American single malt whiskeys in Washington and Oregon, but like between them, it's kind of like where single malt started. And so like you could say the Pacific Northwest is a region, but you could just as easily say that Washington and Oregon are separate regions too.
You could. I think the PNW is a region. I think that could be. I think what we need to do if we're going to talk about regions of ASM, we got to broaden the borders a little bit. We got to make them a little bit bigger than what
a little bit
what the Scotland's got.
But my point
I think the
is
PNW
more
is a thing. I think
it's not going to be 5 regions though, right?
No,
like everybody's
it's
like,
going to be
okay,
way more.
Colorado's a region, Texas is a region, the Pacific Northwest is a region, the Midwest is a region, give or take.
I think there's a high altitude region. I think there's a Southwest desert region. I think there's a hot and humid Southeast region. I think there's a coastal Eastern region. You know, I think there's a cold region, so Minnesota,
and then
Wisconsin, Michigan.
Somehow Kentucky and Tennessee don't fit in any of those regions, and so then you've got the heritage bourbon region of American single malt.
They have a region. It's just called the bad ASM region. That's all. Sorry for any.
No, you're right. You're not wrong.
There is. Okay. I got to take that back. Corsair.
There's some good ones. Corsair is great. I was going to say
excellent stuff. Yeah, there is good ones. It's heritage brands and big brands that I'm picking.
I think Bardstown, I'm willing to wait and see. I know they've got some ASM cooking.
I want Maker's Mark. I see your Maker's Mark back there. I want Maker's Mark to put one out. I'd love to see what they do.
Yep.
Like
my favorite
New
bourbon
Riff
brand, so I've got them on display
cool
all
stuff
the time.
too.
New Riff single malt is weird.
It's weird, but like I feel like it's going somewhere, right?
It could be.
Maybe
they got to stop putting it in 36 different casks.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why it's weird. They just
you know what's upsetting about that is that it is incredibly hard to do that kind of cask magic. But there's a lot of brands that think so. I'm talking like Brookladdy, Port Charlotte, Octomore, Black Art, cask magic. Throw 30 casks at it, and whatever comes out the other side, you have no idea what that is, but it tastes amazing. Right. Quintessential, kind of a similar deal.
Hold on a minute. Let's backtrack on that just a second.
Okay.
First of all, the stuff going into those 30 different casks from Brookladdy is leaps and bounds way better and ahead of the single malt coming out of the column still at New Riff.
Oh no, 100%.
So okay,
no.
So
I'm not saying we're starting from the same. That's my point, right? Like,
right.
There is a way to do 30 different cask magic. It starts with great malt, and it at least somewhere along the way requires a world-class blender.
Yes,
it's not something you just do.
No.
It
doesn't just
barrel.
Work.
I love barrel. Sometimes they nail it. Sometimes they don't. Right? Quintessential nails it every time.
If you like that heavy finish.
It's busy.
If you're not into the heavy finish, some of those black labels get a little over the top.
That is true.
The spirit in it is great, and there's great flavor, and it's very, very meticulously worked to get where it's at. But it does appeal to a certain type of palate.
Let's see. Oh, another distillery that was on our list today that occasionally does Del Bach with their Distiller's Cut series.
Absolutely.
Those are busy wild cask magic.
Absolutely.
Like when I drink at least one of those, when I drink it, I do the lady with the math symbols floating around meme, you know? Like it's busy, it's wild. I love it if I'm in the right mood for that, but it's also it's gonna force you to pay attention.
So the summer 2025 for me was second fill Sauternes. Like the fact that you would put Sauternes in and then do it again, like it really just opened it up so much. And then they put it in a rum cask as well. Oh my God. Like, I think it's coming to you, Doug. Germ, get through your other 100 and we'll talk about it.
You got 100 samples from Randall.
Dude, I don't have 100 samples from Randall. I got maybe
20
okay,
look,
Randall,
but no exaggeration. No exaggeration. I have at least 300 samples around me in this room.
Absolutely.
I have roughly the same.
So,
all right, we got to wrap this up.
Yeah,
we have. You got to forget we have 44 minutes of interview in between here.
That is true. That is true. But to wrap that point, not everybody can do a million casks, and I wouldn't trust New Riff to be able to pull
absolutely
it off.
not.
And I think New Riff could make great stuff.
Yes,
keep it simple, stupid. That's the KISS principle would really benefit them right now, I think. And
New Riff is in a great position where they've got the bourbon drinkers' ear, and they've got them interested in American single malt. But I don't think they've got them hook, line, and sinker yet.
No, and I think there's this big stigma where we don't want to convert, but we want to have our bourbon drinkers try our American single malt and enjoy it. So we're going to load it up with these sweet, super sweet flavors. Stop. Make good whiskey.
Yeah.
Just make good whiskey. If people like your bourbon because it's good whiskey, they will like your single malt because it's good whiskey. If you stay away from the smoking stuff, you're going to have a better, you're going to have more people, because a lot of people will turn their nose to a smoky whiskey. Doesn't matter if it's mesquite, oak, peat, sheep dung, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
People are going to turn their nose to a smoky whiskey. So if you start with the unsmokies and you just do very good basic stuff, whether it be new cask or used cask or a little bit of both, great idea. Just saying. I think you have a better time.
It's the biggest curveball in the blind sample showdown is the new and used.
New and used.
Well, that's just finished with
Yeah, it's new oak with a finish. Yeah.
Yeah. Or is it new oak and next bourbon?
Or is it?
Actually, okay. Sorry, just quick aside. Are there any whiskeys that are primary matured in new oak and used oak?
Yes.
And then blended together?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, give me an example.
There's lots of examples.
I just can't think of one.
Okay. Well, here's one. This is the Hirsch single malt.
Yeah.
That is a combination of new oak and used oak, and then blended together afterwards.
Cool. That feels like a uniquely American thing. I can't imagine Scotch ever doing that.
It is one of my favorite things about American single malt, because they can do that, and they do it. I love it. I actually enjoy. I'm never shy about saying I prefer my single malt and used oak. I do enjoy it when a distillery will put some in new, put some in used, and then to make the release, they put it together, right? Oh, lineage, Balcones lineage. That's new and used.
Oh, yeah.
That's fantastic. I
always forget about Balcones lineage because I'm big on the Texas 1 single malt and the single casks.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's new oak. Texas 1 is new oak.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mirador is all used. Lineage is a combination, and I think Mirador and Lineage are better.
I need to get me some. I may have missed a trick with Balcones.
But
I may have missed Balcones.
Anyways, yeah, guys, realistically, when you're buying American single malts, just read the labels. Cut through the marketing mumbo jumbo. Everybody's got to have it, right? Everybody's got a story. The stories are fantastic. Don't negate the stories, but just cut through the marketing. Look at the stats.
Yep.
Is it made by them? Is it distilled, bottled, fermented, all that stuff? They'll have that on the label. Look for a proof of 43, 45, 46, something like that. Don't hit the floor, and just explore the category. You're going to find stuff that you like. You're going to find stuff that you don't like too. I'm not going to blow smoke here. You're going to find stuff you don't like, but you are going to find stuff that you like.
Yep. I've had really good luck. I can only think of a couple things on my shelf that I don't like.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the best things that I heard recently was one of my followers. I hate to say that because that makes me sound bougie, but like they said,
hey, Randall, you're an influencer.
Yeah, shut up. They said, what I want is a sample of Oak and Grist from Lost Lantern. And I was like, yes, Jesus, let's go. Amen.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Right. And so I gave him a 4-ounce sample, not just a 4-ounce sample of that. Let's go. Oak and Grist all day. But that's the thing. Like, if you find a distillery where you're like, yes, this is my profile, you need to rep it and you need to say this is amazing. And like we all have our exactly like Doug's McCarthy's all day, which we all are McCarthy's all day. Like don't get it twisted. But
You gotta
like,
put your money
you
where
know,
your mouth is
we
sometimes.
we all have our brands that we have to rep because we feel like we have that hometown pride or whatever. But at the same time, it's like get out there and try local stuff to you that is
Absolutely.
American single malt because I guarantee you it's weird, it's different, but it's also representing what your local I hate to say it, your terroir says. And it's really cool. And it might be different and it might be strange, but yet at the same time, it's going to be absolutely amazing. So go out and find it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And some of these
absolutely
brands
find
like
it.
Oak and Grist and Warfield, really small home turf, if they're your local, great for you. To
Absolutely.
be
Good. Yeah.
fair though,
You did good.
yeah, to be fair though, there's a lot of small local distilleries that nobody's heard of that
Mhm.
you may not be super thrilled with their whiskey. You'll probably buy them to support them.
And do that because they will
and you
get
should.
better.
And they
Like,
will get exactly. They will get better.
They need to be able to have the support too. Like
Right.
I'm not saying go in and
Yeah.
buy every bottle they release. No, don't do that. But go in.
Yeah.
They probably got a tasting room. They probably got a cocktail bar. Go in, have drinks, talk
Yeah.
to the people.
Like
you
that,
know,
like that Black
just
Frost,
support.
right? Like if I rate that bottle like 6 out of 10, like very good, but just very good.
Right.
But they've been at it for 2 years. They've been open for 3 years. That American single malt is 2 years old, and
Right.
that's where they're at already. Holy
Yeah.
crap!
It's
Support those
going up.
guys.
It's not going down. It's
It's
going to go
going
up,
up.
right? It's going to get
Exactly.
better.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay, so I want to you reminded me of something real quick. I just want to share an anecdote. Somebody sent me a picture. One of my followers sent me a picture and said like, "Hey, do you know anything about this American single malt? It says American single malt, but it doesn't say 100% malted barley. It says 100% grains from wherever. Is this actually an American single malt?" And I said, great question, because a year ago I would say, well, you just got to do your homework. And now we're in this kind of weird limbo where like, okay, there's been some new labels that for sure they passed the American single malt whiskey rules.
Right.
But there's also this 3-year period starting from about a year ago.
Yep.
3 years, I think, where those old labels can still be sold.
Right.
Right. And so you've got all this old whiskey that may not be matching the criteria for American single malt. You might have mixed mash bills. You might have too high of a distillation proof, or whatever. There's small ways you could be violating. I think we would agree if it's not 100% malted barley, it's not part of the conversation.
Right.
But then there's other guys like Brother Justice, where on a technicality they're a couple proof points too high, and they're ornery about it, and they're sticking to their guns, and they're gonna keep it that high because that's the way they like it.
And great for them. I appreciate it. I do. I like Brother Justice whiskey.
Yeah.
Here's what I
whiskey.
dislike. Here's what I dislike about it. And I'm glad you brought this up. And I don't really want to get on this soapbox too long, but I am going to say this bit. I cannot stand bad, false, wrong information.
Mm-hmm.
If you are putting information out there on Instagram, YouTube, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, whatever, make sure you know what you're talking about. Because when you put bad information out there and you have 100,000 people that are looking at your information, they have now just taken that as gospel, and it is 100% wrong. So check yourselves.
Is this a comment on an influencer, or is this a comment on a brand?
This is a comment that I've wanted to make for many, many months. Brother Justice was the last example of it that I saw. Brother Justice is fantastic whiskey. I do not want to take anything away from them. Their whiskey is awesome. Go buy it. It's great. Cold peated stuff, really, really super unique. However, they do distill just a touch higher than what the maximum is, and it can no longer be called American single malt because it does break the categorical rules.
Yep. So now we have a different case of do your homework here. This has yet to be tested at the TTB as far as I know, But we have these whiskeys like Texas single malt whiskey, Colorado or Rocky Mountain single malt whiskey, where they didn't have the American as part of their brand. A lot of these and the rules as written, I was unhappy with this. I think it should have been the term single malt that was protected, not the phrase American single malt whiskey, quote unquote. So now you have, Brother Justice, great for them, but they can say Minnesota single malt whiskey.
But they don't. They say American single malt whiskey.
At the moment, they do.
Line. Oh, no,
they
it doesn't say whiskey. It says American single malt. Second line.
Probably says whiskey somewhere else.
Whiskey.
Yeah. Yes. So when they rebrand,
that's an old bottle too, by the way.
Right. When they rebrand or when they redo their labels, when they're required to submit new colas, they're probably going to still leave the phrase. I would not be surprised. I can't say for sure what they're going to do, but I would not be surprised if they leave the phrase single malt whiskey on there, because technically single malt whiskey is not a protected phrase.
No.
And this is where we're going to see consumer confusion come out in the near future. So you still got to do your homework. You got to make sure they say all the right things. It's 100% malted barley, yada, yada, yada. And if you're not sure, ask, like I did earlier with, I'm not going to name them because I feel like that's mean, but like they were nice. They replied, they said this would not meet the requirements for American single malt. Right. They didn't elaborate why, but I think it's most likely, the most likely place you run afoul is mash bill.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. You started making a malt whiskey. You said, hey, single malt's a thing in Scotland that has cachet. Let's call it single malt, but it's an American malt whiskey. That's the thing that matters. And then you put American single on it too, because why not? Because that wasn't a rule before. It is now.
Right.
And we've called out Fluger before. So Fluger's not going to get away with it.
Egregious. That was it was two different grains. I mean, that was an egregious.
Yeah, egregious.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Proudly single malt, just like they make in Scotland. By the way, it's 80% malted barley and 20% rye.
Yeah, I mean, whatever it was. We could talk about this later,
that's
but
exactly what it was.
But yeah, anyway.
That's fine. Oh, did I nail it? I guess I remember my grudges.
All right, so we're starting to tangent off.
Yeah.
All of us are. Yep. So we need to reel it in, and let's wrap it up. So we don't want to keep these people too long.
No.
I hope you enjoyed the interview with Matt. He was a fantastic dude. What I loved about his interview was you could 100% tell he was a fan of whiskey. You could also 100% tell he was not there to promote his business.
No,
at all. He was there to promote whiskey.
Frankly, we promoted his business for him while we were
talking. We did way more business promotion for him than he did. And realistically, I commend him for that, because he came on as a fan of whiskey, and that was it. And
is the right vibe for this show.
Absolutely. I mean, within 5 minutes, I was like, this dude needs to just be on the show. He's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it was one of those things where like, okay, you guys, Randall, you do interviews with people all the time.
Yeah.
You have somebody on, you haven't talked to them a whole lot yet, and you're like, I'm not sure how they're going to do once they're on mic.
Right.
And so you're like holding your breath a little bit, and then they start talking. You're like, oh, okay, we're good. We're good.
Yeah, he was, I mean, I don't even think it was 5 minutes. I think it was the first paragraph he said.
Yeah, like the first two sentences, I was like, oh no, we're golden. We're good.
Yeah, sit back a little bit.
Awesome. Like, okay, he's so awesome. But all right, guys. Well, everybody, we are recording this on the 19th, so we're going to try to get it out before Christmas. We hope that you have an absolutely wonderful Christmas, holiday, winter break, whatever you want to call it. I don't care. It is the end of the year. Enjoy time with family, friends, all of that. Have yourself a couple good ASMs, and have a very safe and happy New Year's. We'll see you on the other side. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that we can get to 50 and do our live stream.
Very important. And do us a favor, recommend us to somebody else to also hit the subscribe button. We need to get to that 50. We want to go live on January 19th.
Absolutely.
And happy American single malt whiskey Advent to those who celebrate.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Well, cheers to that. All right.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Night.